morning and welcome to Pajama Talks. I'm super glad you're here. This is part 4 in our 4-part series on birthing your dream. In the first one, we talked about giving yourself permission to dream. And in the second one, we talked about protecting your dream and keeping it safe. And the third one, we talked about creating your dream. And today we're going to talk about fertilizing your dream. And I think sometimes when you're putting a dream forth, it happens not on your timing. It happens, on the universe's timing, on the timeline that's not of your wishes. And so we can get impatient, or we can get frustrated, or conversely, you can get super freaked out because it happens super fast. And you're like, oh my God, slow down, I'm not ready yet. So both of those things can happen. And so I think the first thing I would just to remind you of with regard to dreaming and starting to put action and energy toward your dreams is that they will often come forward not in your own timing. And to try to just be spacious with that, and whether it's too slow for you or too fast for you or whatever it is, that it's timing that's not yours. And if you can just trust that it's going to happen in the best timing for you. Sometimes you can look back on it and you'll be like, oh, I'm really glad that happened in the timing that it happened because it was just right. So that would be the first thing I would say. The second thing I would say is to see if you can avoid dream purgatory. I think sometimes when you're focusing energy on your hopes and dreams, if things aren't going as quickly as you would like, sometimes you just kind of lose steam or you lose focus. So I would say to avoid dream purgatory, you need to be really conscious about re-energizing either quarterly or monthly or biannually, and be really clear, make any tweaks that you need to in your dream, but also some action steps. What are some good action steps that I could take to continue the energy towards putting this dream forth into the world? And again, I think the counter to purgatory is action. So I would put them on your calendar and be like, this month I'm going to do this month I'm going to do this month I'm going to do that. And it may change directions. You might need to course correct a little bit, but that you're always adding a little bit of action to keep your dream being having momentum. And I would say that the third thing I would fertilize my dream with is at some point it's going to come forth. And I would fertilize that dream with the gift of detachment. I think sometimes we have a skewed way of looking at success and or failure, and it puts a really heavy load on your dream, and it makes it, you lose the pleasure in birthing the dream because you've put so much pressure on it looking a certain way or performing in some certain way. So I'm going to give you an example. I wrote a book, and I was very clear that for me, the pleasure was to be all about creating and birthing it. And I didn't care how many it sold. I didn't care how many hands it got into. I had to detach from that. Conversely, what I kept telling myself was, if that book could just touch one person, if it could mean something to just one person, then I'm successful. I feel successful. And it really helped me stay in the pleasure of birthing this thing forward and creating it and staying in the bliss of creating and making and sharing it and not worrying about how many units sold. Okay? Keep yourself and your dreams as that you are giving your dream as a gift to the world. That you're sharing your dream as a gift to the world. Stay in that beautiful place. Fertilize your dream with that sort of intention instead of worrying about how many things you're going to sell or how it's going to be received or if it's going to be harshly judged or criticized or whatever. Because it might be. Not your stuff. Not your stuff. Not your stuff. Your job is to create it and birth it forward. How it's received, and that's not your stuff. So what I want to leave you with is that your dreams and hopes and whatever you want to birth forward into the world are important and worthy. And I hope that you gift the world with whatever it is that you want to put forth, because you're sharing a piece of yourself with us. And that's awesome. I hope you've enjoyed this Birthing Your Dreams series. I'd love to hear any feedback that you have. Mostly, I'm just appreciative that you are joining me for a little bit of the road. Thanks. Have a great day.